모든 건 변했다. 히트 시즌 2.
7-0 predictions. He is by far the better player. Zergs are doing poorly in Korea.
Leonok himself doing poorly against Terran.
Yeah.
0-3. He was 2-5 in
The writing was on the
League.
wall, but
yeah.
the upset happened. And now Jin Air is in a very stressful situation. Rogue is going to have to play a more stressful game than he expected to.
Yeah, and he's one of these players that doesn't exactly do that well under pressure.
Yeah.
He's a very, he's a very cerebral player. He comes out with crazy strats, right? But if he feels really stressed, he can get down on himself. We've seen him looking really negative in the booth at times, and that kind of worries me coming into this one, especially with the upset win you were talking about.
When you watch him in the individual leagues, his losses are often 0-3s. It's like 0-3, 0-2. If he loses that first game, if he loses his edge, sometimes he does struggle to get himself back up. Now this team is down 0-1. It's not quite the same situation, but still a lot of pressure. And when he does these crazy builds, I mean, I think he's probably got something planned, right?
Yeah, he has to.
When he does these crazy builds, every step of the way, everything has to line up.
Whoa.
This does not include playoffs, because in playoffs he has defeated players like Zest himself. But in regular season, he is 0-4 versus Protoss currently.
He only loses to Protoss. He beats every other race. I mean, there's only 2 others, but he is obviously not having that great of a time against Protoss. But as you were saying, I really want to see what kind of crazy build he's going to play here.
All right, Chaser, the Monday caster, has gone for Rogue here. Everyone else is on the Zest train. These players have played against each other 15 times in competitive Starcraft 2. There's a rivalry here, and Zest wants to keep his dominance, and Rogue is looking to beat Zest once again when it matters most.
Let's see how it's going to go down in game number 2, Rogue versus Zest on Frost. Up here in the top left, in the green, for the generic Green Wings, the Zerg player, it is Rogue.
And his opponent to the bottom left, the top StarCraft 2 player currently, it is Zest. Current defending GSL champion.
Yeah, oh wow, this guy actually came from Vietnam.
Wow.
Came over to watch some StarCraft.
He loves StarCraft 2.
There's the waifu.
The waifu, we saw the waifu.
On the left.
It was spotted. He also has a Pro League shirt. That guy was on camera.
Yeah, they both got Pro League shirts. Oh, there's actually another friend over there who's got a 3rd Pro League shirt.
Damn.
Everybody's getting those Pro League shirts, yeah. Did you get your Pro League shirt? I didn't get my
I
Pro
did,
League
actually.
shirt, yeah.
I think you'll get one today if we go talk to Tablet Man. You guys know Tablet Man.
He's the supplier.
Yeah, he's got the goods. All right. Ooh, drone comes down without a hide here, and this will actually cause this base to be blocked. Now, Zest could go for the double block. We're seeing the rise of this. Hush just recently repopularized the, along with Zest, actually, these 2 players specifically repopularized the Cybercore block. He's not going to go for it, though. He's just going to simply block, at least, and not initially, we're just going to block with a probe's body here and a pylon.
Yeah, and this is very unlucky for Rogue. First of all, they spawn close here at vertical spawns, and Zest goes for the early scout, and he scouts correctly. Okay, so everything going wrong so far here for the Zerg player.
Let's see if he commits to the Cybercore block. You know, there is definitely a chance that he does. With the pool coming up this late, he absolutely could. He's dropped his Nexus, and looks like he's just going to harass with the probe instead. So in these positions, Rogue needs to play a more aggressive style, I feel, because playing passively on this map and trying to go for late game is very difficult because your 4th base, you're not, what 4th base? When is that ever going to happen? How is that going to happen? You have to expand towards Zest, his aggression, his Zealot dropping later on, his Adept drops, that sort of harassment, or you have to expand so far away that it's like comical how far away you have to expand. Look at the base to the top right, like where that Overlord's near? Yeah, right. Is that going to be his 4th base? I don't think so.
Well, you've seen players try and fail in the past, and generally you just have to take that that base that's down there close to the Protoss. It doesn't feel good, but it's basically your only choice. And I was thinking a little bit about the map
There's
here.
the Cybercore block.
Oh, wow. He's really committing to it.
Look at that. Just gets it at the last second, by the way. Doesn't affect his build in any way because he had just enough. It's planned from the beginning. Best player in the world right here. Even the drone has to help out.
Yeah.
he will probably actually just get the cancel off as well. Just a temporary investment, no big deal. This third base is so late.
This is so annoying. I mean, you can see with the Cyber Core, with how fast it gets those health and shields, even 6 Lings have trouble dealing with that with the help of the drone. So very delayed third base, and we are going to see the follow-up of the Stargate coming out here from Zest. He does like to do this in this matchup, a very common thing to do for Protoss here.
Rogue's defeat of Zest, the historic defeat that occurred in the round finals, was actually done via the new one of the new meta things we've seen in this matchup, Baneling drops. He's going for Overlord speed right now, but he has not added an Evolution Chamber. He's not added a Baneling Nest. I think this is purely going to be a scouting Overlord speed, and then he's going to decide how he wants to be aggressive here. He knows his third base is very late because of the block that occurred earlier. He also knows that taking a fourth base on this map is going to be a challenge. And not because even the Death Ball Pro is going to go over and smash it. It's because of the Warp Prism that's now so much more powerful than it was before. So much harass can happen. You have to keep your army at the base, and it's so difficult to defend.
Well, this scouting Overlord coming in here and getting the full scout of the base. Even sees the Oracle pop out. Knows the exact timing of that, so immediately drops down 2 Spores and makes a couple of extra Queens. As Zest gets ready to take his third base, which is also scouted, by the way, by Rogue.
Something we've seen a lot in positions like this on 2-player maps. I know this is a 4-player map, but in these vertical spawns, it's almost like you could count the right side of the map out and call this a 2-player map. Is when you're facing Oracles, the Zerg will make a lot of extra Queens, but then we'll also do a follow-up push with Queens down the left side and actually do an attack that way. That's something to keep in mind. Rogue has shown that to us in the past. He may be planning on doing an attack like that. Now, I'm kind of pushing the idea that he's going to do an attack because I personally feel it's very difficult for the Zerg to take a fourth base on this map. He may try to do it anyways. But look at this. 2 Oracles and 4 Adepts. This could do a lot of damage. There's no Lings being made right now. 2? Only 2.
Oh boy, you can't rely on only Queens here. The Adepts, they've got so much health that he has to run his entire drone line away for a really long time. These Adepts are going to survive for a really long time
They
as
may
well.
even get out. Not all of them. But look at this, he's going to commit to fighting the Queens now away from the Spore as the Queens get forced into the situation. Very, very good crisis management by Rogue, though. That could have done a lot more.
No, that was really good by him, just hanging on there. He saves all of his drones, but he did have to run away for a really long time. But now he can just drone up. He knows he's going to be safe here for a while.
He's using the extra Lings he just made in panic mode to counterattack, but Zest is already ready. He's got his sentries in position, and more harassment going on here in the main base. He's looking for more damage. He's going to find a lone Queen here. No transfuse. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
didn't have that selected. And this is actually not going to work out too well for Zest.
Yeah, he's not paying attention. He loses one of his Oracles. Definitely should have just been able to fly that away and save it. But, yeah, not really finding that damage. And he's going to follow up with 5 extra gates, Blink, +1, Robotics Tech here.
Yeah.
And we are going to finally see the Baneling Nest being made. And it looks like he wants to go into Baneling Hydra.
Bane Hydra. So he's making a scary amount of drones. He just started like 14. We're going to see the Droverlords come in. This is a scary style to both play against, but also I think versus Zest to play. Like, Zest is the one who was defeated by this first in televised matches. You think he will forget what happened? Like, he knows how to deal with this now. And let's see how well he does. +1 already on the way for Hydras. A Ling drop coming into the main is going to force Zest to react. Only 2 Adepts here.
Yeah, just going to warp in a couple, and that's going to be enough. I think he should have just gone right for the probes, but doing a little bit of chip damage to that gateway, I suppose.
Yeah, chip damage is, I think, the best way to describe it. Chip the paint on it, even.
Yeah.
Zest is like he's like not even phased by this drop even slightly.
The thing I'm scared for Zest is that if Rogue begins to make a ton of Droverlords, drop Overlords, and makes a bunch of Banelings and drops on all those sentries, I think it's just a great read by Rogue to see the composition and see how many sentries he's making and just be like, oh, I can crush that. Especially because we're so close, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the play here. I haven't seen him make too many Lings. He's got 23. No Banelings so far and still only 1 drop Overlord.
Yeah,
but could come into play here in just a minute.
The thing is, he's not ready yet, and it looks like Zest doesn't want to give him the time. He's like, hello, you don't even have a 4th base. Of course there's a 4th base on this map. Are you kidding me? I've been talking about this since we spawned. But because he doesn't have a 4th base, I think Zest is starting to get suspicious. Like, oh, I think you're going to do that Baneling Hydra timing. I'm just not going to give you time. You're not going to have enough Droverlords ready. And if you fight me on the ground, you will lose, because I have 9 sentries. and they're ready to go.
14 probes just died, by the way.
Yeah,
He's
all in basically
interim.
now. He has to do serious damage with this. Hydra's going to shoot over the force fields. He needs more than this. A good blink up.
Really nice force field to block the left side of this army off entirely.
He's starting to get more Hydras out, you know? He's got a lot of them on the way. 13 are about to pop out.
Still
good
more force fields
though.
where that came from. He's got so many sentries, and now he's taking control of this high ground, and Rogue only on 3 bases, and a huge warp in here with these 8 gateways that are up and running for Zest.
I think he has to just like kind of leave Zest high and dry up there. I think he needs to take a new base. Okay, he does. He takes the 4th base now because he knows he's never going to be able to retake control, but he could trap this Protoss army up here and, excuse me, and keep building Hydras, which eventually will be the counter to this. And also, he can make more Lings and start doing that drop sort of play that you were talking about now that he has the economy. He's actually transitioning into Lurkers as well. He's going to have the better tech, and he knows this base took a lot of damage. And if Zest just kind of keeps warping in here and he just doesn't mind from it, he's like, yeah, I'm still getting my gas, and I'm going to have that other hatchery. So just sit up there, that's fine. Sit up there, I don't care. You can't deny my gases, and you can't come down the ramp, or you're going to lose Stalkers.
Yeah, he's kind of in an awkward spot because how do you save those sentries unless you go all the way to the right?
And
right, you have to go all the way on the right side of the map to have any chance of doing that.
You're fighting you're fighting into a concave of Hydras here. I mean, this is, maybe you kill a few with some good blinks here, but this is really playing with fire right now. And he's going to be limited to how many times he can do this as the shields fade. Ling's running by here. He has a Baneling drop set up to the south as well. He might be wise to do them at the same time. Here it comes. He's trying to take
overcharges were used there, so he's only got 1 more if that was on full energy. And it's not even in the main, so we have to see if he's going to commit, if he's going to react to this.
This is looking really bad for Zest, man. I mean, Lurkers are ready, and he's not. I mean, this cannon is not enough alone. He will lose probes here.
Not that many probes, but still going to find that damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's decent damage there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. What is Zest on right now? He's only on 56 probes at this point, and he still hasn't taken a 4th base.
Look, he did exactly as I said. He ignored the Stalkers, and now he's like, I'm not even going to be there anymore. I'm going across the map. I have Lurkers, and what's your answer? You don't have an answer. Does he even have a robotics bay? Okay, no, he has 1 observer on the map, but it's not right here. And already damage being done. And this is the moment where Zest is going to freak out because Lurkers are done, and he's not ready.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. How does Zest ever get back to his base?
He can't.
He doesn't have his mothership core with him. He can't recall. And now Rogue has gotten on top of this 3rd base.
Oh, this is so bad. Look, how is he going to ever fight this army?
Look at the Changeling block there, too, even on the Stalkers.
He can barely even get his Observer here. He's going to try to fight this now. Where's the Observer? It's not with his army. He has no detection. Okay, now it's here. Now it's here.
But he lost all the Stalkers already. It's over.
It's over. Another upset. GG.
Rogue. Oh, man. He does it again.
He said, no, you put your Stalkers on that high ground and you keep them there. I don't care. I'm taking another base. Fangirls scream. People are going crazy in this studio right now as Jinner did exactly what they need to do to bring themselves back into the series. This may be one of the best series of regular Pro League we have ever had. And we've only seen 2 games, all right? This is
Zerg power, man. The Zergs are coming out in force tonight. I think we only had 2, and they both won. What buff? They don't need a buff, man. They're killing everyone.
This is crazy. David Kim is so scared right now. He's like, oh my god, we don't need the Queen buff anymore.
Yeah, dude, it's been a crazy day so far. Tell your friends to get in on the stream here, as we do have probably the best matchup of the night, Maru versus TY. I mean, that was a sick match, but this is going to be a straight-up slugfest. Maru, a sick TVT player, but TY, one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, so definitely, we're going to have a short break coming up. Tell your friends about this. This is going to be perhaps the match that will decide tonight's win. Realistically, the momentum that you get from going to match point, going to that 3rd game, cannot be underestimated or understated. Both. All right?
Yeah. Whoever takes this win is going to take control of the series. This is going to be a TVT between Maru and TY after a short commercial break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with game number 3.